Thinner, lighter, beta. It's the Mizuno Morelia Neo 2 Beta. What's going on, guys? Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com, bringing you my review plus on-feet video of a pair of football boots that I did not expect to like as much as I do, and I seriously believe that this is a contender for the best speed boot on the market right now. It is the made in Japan Mizuno Morelia Neo 2 Beta. Think of it as the Morelia Neo 2.5. It's pretty common these days for football boot brands to do subtle refreshes to their boots rather than completely redesigning them, but in the case of the Morelia Neo series, it was first introduced in 2010 and was excellent at that point. We then got the subtle update in the form of the Neo 2 that was basically the exact same thing. So for 9 years now, we've had pretty much the same speed boot on offer from the Mizuno brand, but they now have the Beta, which is the most extreme redesign that we've seen to the Morelia Neo and Morelia Neo 2. Even though it might look quite similar, it's thinner, it's lighter, it's more comfortable, and believe it or not, it's actually better in pretty much every single way. And let's keep in mind that while I've always thought that the Morelia Neo series was really good, one of the best speed boots you can buy, they were never really my cup of tea. I never found them to be comfortable on my feet. In the case of the Neo 2 Beta, that has changed, and I'm going to explain why in today's video. So if you want to learn everything there is to know about what is arguably the best new release of 2019, please stick around and watch the entire review. And if you're interested in a pair for yourself, I'll leave a little pop-up on screen, or you can click the first link down below. That's going to take you to the review page on my website, where you'll find buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes. You'll be able to pick up the MIJ Mizuno Morelia Neo 2 Beta below its normal retail price. If you guys do end up enjoying this video and perhaps would like to see more reviews of Mizuno boots on the channel, don't forget to support this one with a like and let me know specifically what you want to see down below in the comment section. Also, if you're new here watching for the first time and don't want to miss out on daily content from me, make sure you hit that subscribe button along with the little bell notification so you get notified when the next new video goes live. So included with the boots is a fancy silver and gold box to match the boots. The box is also made in Japan. Maybe, I'm actually not sure. Also included with the boots is a boot bag, and it's not really a string bag, even though there is a string at the top. You can't really wear it as a backpack, but you can seal up the top of the bag. You can see it is in matching colors with the boots, kind of like a really light gray that's supposed to imitate the silver, and you have the Made in Japan logo there on the front in a nice metallic gold, nothing on the back. It is a decent boot bag, which is why it gets a rating of Beta out of Delta. Okay, so this is the regular Made in Japan Mizuno Morelia Neo 2, and this of course is the new Morelia Neo 2 Beta. And I know what you're thinking right now. They look almost exactly the same, but what if I told you that pretty much every single thing about these two boots has actually been changed in one way or another? Well, that's exactly what they've done. Actually, the laces might be the same. Yeah, they definitely are. With the main concept behind the Beta not just to be a subtle refresh on the already great Neo 2, but to actually be an early look at what is to come from the inevitable Mizuno Morelia Neo 3, that if I'm being honest, I wouldn't have been unhappy if they actually called this the Neo 3, because it is that different. So I guess we'll start at the toe, where you will find the signature element of the Morelia Neo, and that is of course the Kangaroo Leather that you might notice looks very similar to what we had before, but there definitely is a difference, and that main difference is the fact that this is actually thinner than the already very thin Kangaroo Leather found on the regular Morelia Neo 2. Basically, what they've managed to do is shave that leather down ever so slightly to make it that much thinner, making this by far the thinnest Kangaroo Leather you will find on any football boot, period. Also, it is incredibly soft. It basically feels like there is nothing on your feet. It's that comfortable, it's that soft, it's that flexible, and the touch that it provides is incredible. It's basically a barefoot sensation based on how thin it is, which is not what you typically expect to find from a pair of Kangaroo Leather football boots, but because they are Kangaroo Leather, it's just super soft, and like I said, almost doesn't feel like you're wearing anything at all, which is really impressive. You'll also notice, if you're a hardcore Mizuno fan, that they have decreased the amount of stitching at the toe, again, to shave as much weight and bulk as possible. So instead of being double stitch, it is only single stitch, which quite honestly you don't really notice, but it is a small change that they have made. From the forefoot back, you'll find what is easily the biggest difference between the Neo 2 Beta and the regular Neo, and that is this brand new mesh-based synthetic material that is very 99 gram Adizero-esque, I will admit that. Also very similar to maybe the Evo Speed SL, although I can assure you that it's more durable than both of those boots combined. Basically, it's a mesh-based synthetic material with a polyurethane top layer for the sake of not making it too slippery. And then it's internally reinforced by a very thin support cage, allowing for somewhat of a transparent look along the side, especially in this light silver color. The end result is a material that is significantly softer and more flexible than what we had on the regular Neo 2 with its synthetic leather material that, quite honestly, I was just never a big fan of. Granted, there is a trade-off to going with this thinner, lighter, more flexible material. While I think it benefits the comfort in a significant way, it's definitely not as responsive and as structurally sound as the synthetic found on the regular Neo 2. Also, because the leather and synthetic is now much thinner across the board versus the regular Neo 2, I feel like the touch in general is a lot more consistent across the entire foot, whereas with the Neo 2, you have the softness at the toe. Obviously, it's still very thin, but then you have a much thinner, more raw feeling material in the form of the synthetic through the midfoot. This just feels more consistent across the entire foot. The lacing system still runs down the middle and for the most part has the same general setup, kind of zigzagging up the side of either foot directly down the middle, but they have actually added an extra lace hole at the top that you can choose to use, you can choose to not use it, but personally I like the fact that they've included it there just for the sake of giving as much grab around the ankle area as possible to really lock your heel in place, and lockdown is quite good. The tongue, you will notice, because this does have an actual tongue, something we don't see from many football boots these days, has been changed as well, made from a slightly different synthetic material, very thin, very lightweight, pretty much matching the thickness of the rest of the midfoot area. Moving to the rear, the Neo 2 Beta has maintained its low-cut design and still has this kind of extended heel as well, but you will notice it has been shaved down as much as possible in pretty much every single area, eliminating padding, eliminating a little bit of the heel liner as well, especially along the side that you can see right there. You can even see the heel liner doesn't have as much padding either. It's still made from a super soft synthetic suede that feels very comfortable and grips your sock very nicely, and despite being stripped out so much, because the material itself seems to be a little bit more, I guess, pliable, I actually find these to be a lot more comfortable through the heel than the regular Neo 2. The insole is fully removable and has also seen some changes. It is now lined in what is a very soft mesh material rather than that kind of sandpaper textured material, a similar change to what we saw on the Rebula 3. And the main reason why Mizuno has done that is they found that people were having a hard time getting the boots on without the grippy insole kind of crinkling up their socks, making for an uncomfortable feel and kind of just a little bit of inconvenience. Personally, I like the sandpaper texturing, but it looks like they're just not going to do that anymore. It does have some perforations throughout the forefoot, midfoot, and toe area of the insole, and it is now made from an entirely different type of foam that's just ever so slightly thinner, again, to shave as much weight as possible. Which brings us to the base of the Neo 2 Beta that looks pretty similar to what we had on the Neo 1 and Neo 2, but it's not. This is somehow 10% lighter, and part of the way that they've done that is by changing out this kind of material that they've inserted through the heel as well as the midfoot. You'll find it on the regular Neo 2 as well, but apparently they're using a different type of material that has the look of carbon fiber, but isn't actually carbon fiber, disappointingly. Still looks a lot more premium and apparently makes for a slightly lighter construction, which is good for this style of football boot. They have maintained the external heel counter, which is something that I really like about this particular sole plate. And the sole plate as a whole, while very thin and lightweight, still has a nice solid feel to it, good flexibility through the forefoot, and I think matches the very soft, thin, kind of natural sensation that you get from the upper quite well. As far as the stud pattern is concerned, that is one element that has not changed. It is the same conical stud layout where you have 8 conical studs through the forefoot on either side, 1 support stud in the middle, and then of course the 4 rounded studs there in the heel. Something I've always liked about the Neo is that the studs are angled slightly towards the outside rather than just kind of straight up and down. And that logic is basically around the fact that when you're running, you're never really planting directly flat on the ground. There's always going to be a little bit of kind of an imbalance in terms of how your foot makes contact. It doesn't look like much, but this is a much more aggressive stud pattern than I think you might expect. Also, because the studs are round, you have that freedom to twist and pivot that you don't necessarily get from a lot of other speed boots on the market right now. Also, made in Japan quality, so they have actually riveted the toe box where it meets the upper, just to make for the best possible durability. And that's something that I can't say confidently about a lot of lightweight speed boots, but this is one of those football boots that I can assure you is built to last. Which brings us to the weight, and up until this point in the video, you've seen all the changes that they've made to the Beta. I actually traveled to Japan visiting Mizuno prior to the official release and actually got the opportunity to play in the Neo 2 Beta without really knowing exactly how much lighter they were supposed to be. I wore them, I noticed they were thinner, I noticed they were more comfortable, and I noticed that they did in fact feel lighter in comparison to the regular Neo 2, which I had also worn in the exact same session. However, when you actually put them on a scale, they're not that much lighter. In a size 9.5 US, the Neo 2 Beta weighs in at what is a very lightweight 6.6 ounces, the equivalent of 187 grams, making it one of the lightest speed boots on the market, even lighter than the Mercurial Vapor 13 Elite that weighs in at about 6.8 ounces. However, if I take a regular Neo 2 in the same exact size and put it on the scale, you can see that they weigh in at 6.7 ounces, the equivalent of 190 grams. Now, if you've done the math, you would know that that is a difference of 3 grams. 3. Which is basically nothing, but trust me when I say that because of how much thinner the Beta is and how much more comfortable it feels on your feet, so much more natural because of this new material through the midfoot, they do end up feeling lighter than the Neo 2. It's one of those situations where the stats and the experience don't really line up with each other. Mizuno have essentially gone through every little detail of the Neo 2 and changed it ever so slightly, except for the laces. The stock laces being the usual chunky Mizuno laces, these being gray with a gold detail that actually look quite good on the boots. However, I have swapped them out for some metallic gold reflective SR4U replacement laces that accent perfectly with the gold Mizuno branding that you have on either side, as well as the Morelia Neo logo there on the heel. It's a great way of changing up the style of your boots in an inexpensive way. Plus, they're a little bit thinner, just like the boots themselves. So, if you're interested in a pair of replacement laces for yourself, the website to go to is www.sr4ulaces.com. There'll be a little pop-up on screen, as well as a link down below in the description. So if you're interested in some for yourself, be sure to go ahead and check that out. Simply put, the Morelia Neo 2 Beta is the most comfortable thin pair of football boots that I've ever had on my feet. I might go as far as to say that it's one of the most comfortable boots I've ever worn, period. I like them that much. The Kangaroo Leather at the toe is ridiculously thin and also ridiculously soft at the same time. This mesh-based synthetic material that you have through the midfoot is very flexible. It molds around your foot pretty much instantaneously as you tie the laces tight, and it doesn't have that same kind of grab through the midfoot as the regular Neo 2 did that I found to be a little bit uncomfortable. These just feel very, very natural on feet all the way through, but also extremely secure on your feet because of that deep lacing system. And like I said, that midfoot material does have some decent structure to it as well, despite being so thin. The heel lockdown is top notch. The sole plate is nice and flexible. They basically feel like you're wearing nothing. That's the best way that I can describe it. As far as width is concerned, they've got some decent width to them. I definitely think that with this more pliable midfoot material, they're going to be more suitable for slightly wider foot types. Although if you do have really wide feet, probably not a great option for you, although definitely wider than the regular Neo 2. And as far as the sizing is concerned, I'm wearing these in my usual size 9.5 US, and the fit and the length is perfect. So if you're looking to order a pair for yourself, I would strongly recommend going true to size in order to achieve the best possible fit. So in conclusion, is the Neo 2 Beta better than the regular Neo 2? In my opinion, based on my own personal preferences, 1000% yes. However, I think if you prefer a slightly more structured, more responsive feel from your football boots, you might actually prefer the regular Neo 2. But as I've discussed on this channel before, objective performance isn't everything when it comes to football boots. The experience matters a heck of a lot, and for me personally, I much prefer the experience of wearing the Beta over the regular Neo 2. It is the football boot equivalent of being home alone and walking around in your underwear. It's a sense of freedom that I don't think I've ever experienced from a pair of football boots before. It's weird. How do I come up with this stuff? In my opinion, the Neo 2 Beta feels like a logical evolution for the Morelia Neo platform. It still maintains all of the same core concepts. It still objectively performs extremely well, but it's that much thinner. It's that little bit lighter, and I definitely think it's a big improvement in terms of overall comfort as well. Objectively, it might not be as good, but again, the experience of this boot is unlike anything else that I've ever tried. Typically, when you have something this thin, the comfort gets sacrificed, and if a boot is really comfortable, it's not going to be as thin. This has both of those elements in one, super comfortable and super thin at the same time, which I can't say that I've ever had in a pair of football boots before. And to very quickly answer the question, which one I prefer between the Neo 2 Beta and the brand new Mercurial Vapor 13 Elite, I think the Vapor is better in terms of objective performance. I think it is a technically very impressive pair of football boots, and as good as I think they are, just from a comfort and experience standpoint, my preference between these two would be the Neos. But it depends on what you're looking for. Anyways, guys, that's it for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to support it with a like. Again, if you're interested in a pair of Neo 2 betas for yourself, you can click the first link down below. That's going to take you to the review page on my website, where you'll find buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes. We'll be able to pick these up below their normal retail price. If you have any questions, as always, leave them down below in the comment section, and I'll do my best to get an answer to you as soon as I possibly can. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information linked down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.